Hi guys, it is a Monday and it feels like a Monday. Our day started today way before the sun even thought about coming up and we were out the door. So my goal tonight is to get dinner made pretty fast. I think that's most working moms' goals, is to get dinner on the table and get everything done. So we are going to try and accomplish that. I will tell you I am really Mondaying in the fact that I forgot to pick up lettuce and tomato when I ran to the store, so Zachary will be picking some up on his way home, but I can get everything else ready because we're having gyros. And say it how you want, gyros, gyros, we're having it. We're having chicken gyros. So I have some ingredients here that I'm going to explain to you. I made the mistake of getting store-bought tzatziki sauce, so I am going to be jazzing that up, and there's no shame in my game of using that as a starter even. It's a really easy way to get a good tzatziki on the table if you don't want to go through making it completely from scratch, just jazzing it up. So let's do it. All right, so I really wanted to go for convenience tonight, and that is what we're doing without doing fast food. So we have our little store-bought tzatziki style dip made with cucumbers, garlic, lemon juice, and onion. So we're going to jazz this up because we like when the tzatziki sauce is so garlicky, it's kind of a little bit spicy. I am putting in here some garlic paste. That's how easy I'm taking it tonight, because normally I would just squish my own garlic cloves, but this is what we're doing. No one will know. Some dried dill. A lot of dried dill. I put a little bit of lemon pepper in mine. A little bit of garlic powder. And I was going to say some onion powder, but it looks like I am actually completely empty, so I'm going to have to refill that. Some fresh ground black pepper. A little bit of sea salt. Lemon juice. And then we are going to knock things over. We are going to grate some cucumber in here. Now, if you're using like a full, like a seeded cucumber, I would grate this and then squeeze it to get any excess liquid out of it. But since we're using an English style, it's not as serious. And we're not going to put a ton in here, just a little bit. I will dice up some cucumber. Sorry, I know it's loud. I will dice up some cucumber to have on the gyros themselves. But here we have our tzatziki. And if you have like fresh lemon, you could put lemon zest in here. You can really jazz this up. Or fresh dill. Looking at it, I already know that I'm going to need a little bit more dill. I know I don't often record my taste tests, but I do taste my food as I'm making it. So let's see how this is. That's good. I will say that using the store-bought garlic paste, it doesn't have quite the zing. So I think I'm going to put this whole thing. Now, if you are not super into garlic, obviously I want to put this amount. And if you make this and you find that it is still too garlicky for you, if you let it sit until the next day, it definitely mellows out. It's just that first day that you get that kind of spicy zing to it. I'm also going to put a little cracked red pepper flakes in there. And then I'm gonna let this chill while I do everything else. I hope you're all having a good Monday. Today is the first day of spring, but no matter what, it is still a Monday. So for the chicken gyro meat, it's going to be super easy. We are using boneless, skinless chicken breast. I have 2 packs here. We have our Greek seasoning. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in the pan to heat up, and then we are going to get to cooking these, and then I'm going to chop them up. We're using our big old 17-inch Lodge cast iron skillet today. That pretty much takes up the majority of my stove. This is going to be really nice outside in the summer, but for now, this is what we got. Typically, when I make chicken, you see me trim the little like fatty bits off for the dogs, but when I'm making it like this and really I'm going to end up chopping it up, this is just fine. I am going to start this off as I go with some salt and pepper to start. I'm sorry if you can hear my dishwasher running in the back. This time of year, honestly, springtime and late summer, you will always see me running behind on dishes and my kitchen being a bit disheveled, because that is just what happens when you're in the swing of getting things seed started, things in the ground, and then at the end when you're trying to harvest everything and get everything preserved, something's got to give. So you're going to see a real house. So any of my YouTube friends out there, do you have any tips of minimizing the amount of dishes during these, super busy times with a large family specifically? I'm always open to hearing a new way to do things and get some fresh ideas. There's that. We are gonna let this brown on one side. I'm going to then put the Greek seasoning on this side, and actually I am going to do that right now. Greek seasoning going on this side, and this is just a Greek seasoning blend. My favorite store-bought Greek seasoning blend is the I'm not going to be able to think of it right now. I'll put it in the description for you. But I've tried multiple kinds, and there's only one that really stands up for me. Okay, so we're going to let this go for a while, and I am going to get the rest of my ingredients out. Okay, I think we've got this to the point that they are ready to, ooh, beautiful, they're ready to be flipped. Looking good. So I'm going to season this side with my Greek seasoning again. And let it cook some more. And at this point, I'm also going to have my tube of garlic paste that I use, and I just cut the top off to get the last bit out with a little bit of lemon juice in there. We're going to add this. Woo! Making a mess. Woo! All right, we're just going to do this the apparently easy way. Pour it right up. There we go. Now that I got it all over my hands. Like I said, Monday. So I know full and well that that is not enough garlic that I want on there. And if you are watching my video and going, oh, you use so much garlic. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. We like a lot of garlic. You might not like a lot of garlic. And if you don't use a lot. So there's some more garlic there, and I'm going to do some more lemon juice. Oh, we're looking so good. Another flip. Now, because I am spreading this over 2 burners, I have some inconsistent heat here, obviously. So I'm just shuffling these around. I'm just going to let this cook, and I'll bring you back when we get to the next step. Okay, as you see, we have a bit of a grease splatter here. But I did cut the chicken into a little bit smaller pieces there just because I wasn't happy with how long it was taking. And like I said, I want to get this done. So now we are just going to chop, chop, chop. I also added just a little bit of water in the skillet to make it a little bit, I'm making a mess, to make it a little bit saucier and to prevent any burning. You could absolutely like deglaze the pan with some more lemon juice. That would give it a real nice flavor. But as you see here, we're going to chop, chop, chop. I'm not going to hurt your ears as I'm doing this. Guys, we are looking good here. We have our chicken all kind of chopped, and I've let it sit in the pan. I did put a little bit of lemon juice in here just to get all of that good flavor off the bottom and give it a nice light touch with the lemon. And oops, well, I broke the container. Oopsies. Well, this is why you don't try to open a container, but this is the Greek seasoning that we love, the Cavender, Cavender, all-purpose Greek seasoning. This is our favorite. It says that it is distinctive flavoring. It has salt, black pepper, garlic, oregano, parsley, onion powder, spice extracts, and 5 other spices. So of course they're like secret blend, which is why I haven't been able to replicate it to this to this point, but there it is. Just one last mix in here. As soon as Zachary walked in the door to save the day with the lettuce and tomato, he commented right away about how good this smells. So teamwork makes the dream work. So there's our gyro chicken. And here, guys, we have all of our good toppings. We have some traditional pocket pitas, quick couple of seconds in the microwave to heat those up. Cucumber, onion, tomato, lettuce, feta, and our tzatziki sauce. So I have some hungry munchkins that want to eat and they want to relax and get to bed as early as I do. So it is 6 o'clock. We did that in less than an hour. So we'll see you tomorrow, guys. Good morning, friends. Today is Tuesday and it is early. It's so early I am not camera ready at all. But I need to get this in the crock pot. Today I am making a pulled beef. So I have almost a 3-pound prime eye round roast, vacuum sealed. This was one that I purchased on the Flashfood app that I mentioned to you all. So this was half price. It ended up being $3.50 per pound. So that's a win in my book. Girls have been asking for me to make a pulled beef or brisket. Grandma Gwen, who lives across the country, had made them their absolute most favorite pulled beef with barbecue, and I've never been able to replicate it. So if you're watching this, I would love that recipe if I haven't already asked you for it by the time you see this. So in here we have a little bit of olive oil, just so we don't have any stickage. I'm doing everything right in here. This is a dump and go. And we're just gonna do pepper, salt, some Worcestershire, and I'm gonna do this to both sides. A little bit of red wine vinegar, a little bit of liquid smoke, or a lot of it in liquid smoke. We have some blackened dry rub seasoning. Put that right on. And then I am going to flip and repeat. I am working from home today for most of the day, and normally when I am working from home, I like to do something that I can kind of set and forget, or throw in the oven and let it cook low and slow. And it's kind of my gift to myself to not have to be babysitting something all day, or to have to make something right after work, as I've, been working all day. It's early yet, guys, so I think I might be rambling. But we're gonna get the rest of our red wine vinegar on there. Just a little bit more of the liquid smoke because a lot came out the first time. We are also going to put in here some of our garlic confit. I had taken a new thing of this out of the freezer the other day when we did the tin fish dinner with the baked brie. So we have some garlic there. And we are also, excuse my reach here, we are also going to do a half pint of our caramelized onion jam. This saves me the time of having to develop a you know, rich base broth by using this. This has sweet and salty and onion, and it has everything it needs all in there. It will also help to make all of that flavor kind of stick. One more splash here of our, or dash of our blackened dry rub. I'm gonna put in here a little bit of parsley. Just a little bit more of Worcestershire sauce. And then I am going to lock the lid down on here. I have this set on high, so I will probably check this in about 4 hours and see what we're looking like, maybe 6 hours, and I may decide to add some broth if it's looking a little dry, but as of right now, we're good to go. So I will see you later. Hey guys, so the work day is over and now it's time to move on to actually getting our dinner together. And when I started this morning, I had full intentions of doing like pulled beef sandwiches with like barbecue sauce, but it has transitioned into something else as usual. So Isabella has requested to have tonight baked sweet potato with it. So I have this massive sweet potato. So we're going to, or yam, however you, I don't know, potato to me. So we are going to make this in the air fryer along with some little regular baked potatoes. Obviously Isabella's not going to eat this whole thing, but we'll have that for some leftover. She thinks she will. We have our beef, which is all ready. The only thing that you did not see is I realized that I forgot to put a cup of red wine in this. So I did add a cup of red wine, and then about an hour ago I sliced up an onion real thin and I added the onion to the beef. And then I also have some oyster and shiitake mushrooms. These were on that same Flashfood app that I've mentioned a few times, and they were marked down to $1 a piece. So I had Zachary pick these up when he picked up the beef, because $1 in our area, this oyster mushroom would normally be $4 or more for this one container. So it's not something we have regularly. And everyone besides Angelina, Isabella, you like mushrooms a little bit. Some. So yeah, everyone besides Angelina really does like mushrooms, so this will be a nice treat. So basically we're gonna have baked potatoes with pulled beef and mushrooms. So let me show you the beef real quick. All right, are you ready? This is the beef. It's shredded up beautifully. It made its own delicious kind of sauce. Like I said, I just added 1 cup of a red wine. I have Cabernet, like jug Cabernet, real cheap wine that I keep on hand for cooking. And then I added that real thin sliced onion. I did adjust the seasoning as I went as well, with the seasonings that I showed you I put in. So it looks good. We're gonna let this stay on warm, and we're gonna get the potatoes in because they're gonna take about an hour in the air fryer, and I'll bring you back. One more thing I want to share with you all. I've worked in restaurants over the years, and I've seen all different ways of making baked potatoes, and I will tell you that in my opinion this is the best way. You're gonna get your potatoes nice and clean, of course. You're gonna oil them up. This is for that good, crispy, salted skin. I don't poke any holes because I feel like that dries out the potato. There you go. You oil up your potato, and of course you can make it just like that if you don't do salt. But I have a blend of garlic salt, parsley, and coarse sea salt. So this, I am going to salt my potatoes. right on a rack on top of a tray, so that way it doesn't, you know, cause any fire, because we don't want any of that. Just go like that. So this will give you that good crispy, crunchy potato skin, and you will have a nice creamy potato by not puncturing the skin. Now, if anyone else has any other suggestions, I'm always open to hearing things. But I worked in restaurants in my years for like 10 years, and I've seen all different ways. And Isabella probably will not have the skin of this, even though I did wash it and it is completely edible, but I'm not gonna let her out. We'll do hers as well. Now, obviously, this huge sweet potato is gonna take longer to cook. So I cheated a bit and I put this in the microwave for 3 minutes. So it has a head start. So that way these can all get done around the same time. But this is going to go, this is massive. This is gonna go in the air fryer at 400 degrees for really a solid hour. And at that point it should be about 6 o'clock and we'll have dinner on the table by 6:30. All right, everyone, I am doing the same kind of profile for our mushrooms that I did on the potatoes. I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of that parsley, sea salt, garlic, and I'm gonna throw these in a hot cast iron, and then I will finish it with just a touch of soy sauce. So there we have our mushroom. There's the baked potatoes and they look good.
No, I think the middle of your potatoes.
Here's a better view of the potatoes. They're nice and crispy. We have some green scallion onions to have, some sour cream, of course the pulled beef. We have the sauteed mushrooms. Looking good. Time to get everyone served. I'll see you in a few days. Welcome back to the kitchen. I think, when were we last together? Maybe gyros, I believe. And then we kind of had those for leftovers and salad on regular gyros. And last night we went on a family date night. So we wanted to try some good authentic Mexican, which is usually like our go-to kind of craving meal. And we found a good place, so we had a good time last night. And now tonight I am making homemade from scratch chicken cutlet parm. And I thought I'd bring you along with me. So I just found a good deal on chicken at our local grocery store. I just also put out another video about this and preserving. We put away in the freezer like 40 chicken breasts. And tonight we are going to use the remaining for our chicken parm. So I'm going to trim this, give all of the scrap pieces to the doggies. I'm going to pound them out real thin, and then we're going to make a coating and do a shallow pan fry. With this, we'll be having a noodle of some kind. I'm not sure what everyone's wanting, so I'll check with everyone, and our homemade sauce that we have previously preserved. So we're going to have a delicious dinner tonight, and I did purchase some fresh Italian loaves from our local grocery store that I will be making into yummy, cheesy garlic bread. So tonight's a real indulgent kind of dinner, and then tomorrow we're gonna have a real easy night because we have like 200 tomatoes to get started. So it's that time of year. So let's get started with this. trimmed the chicken. This will be going to the dogs, bake that for them. And now it's time to tenderize. So I'm not gonna have you sit through all of this, but I wanna show you at least one because maybe you've never done this before. So you take your chicken, you place it on your cutting board. You typically you would use like a plastic wrap. I tried to use as little plastic as possible so I have some parchment paper. And you just pound it out. I want it thinner than that, so we're going to keep going. All right, so that looks good to me. We are going to repeat this process until they are all, I have little chicken scraps here, until they are all done. And then we are going to season them and get them fried. All right, I'm bringing you guys in close for this. So we have our egg that we're gonna put the chicken in first. I already had Zachary whip those all up for me because I hate doing that. We have breadcrumbs over here. Let me move this out of the way so you can really see. We have breadcrumbs, and we're doing a lot of chicken, so I'm choosing to do this nice deep pan. We are going to do a blend of regular Italian breadcrumbs and also panko breadcrumbs, which Zachary is so kindly grabbing me from the basement. I am putting a little ranch dip mix here, ranch seasoning, whatever you want to call it. I think it just gives a nice touch. I'm not putting a ton of it, so it's not going to be like overwhelmingly evident. Salt and pepper. Lots and lots of pepper. In fact, I'm going to do a little of the regular ground pepper. We also want to make sure that we season our eggs. You want to season every part here. So we are putting pepper in the eggs. I am using some onion salt. In both. And then you've noticed I am slacking on refilling my spice jar, so I just went to the basement and grabbed these. I need to fill up my jars. We have garlic powder. And we're going to put some of that in our egg as well. As you see here, I am not measuring, I'm just doing by sight. And we also have onion powder. You can just put them there. Okay. A little bit in the eggs. Parsley. Of course, Italian seasoning. I don't choke on all of the fumes that I'm getting right now. Sorry. We need a little bit of our crushed red pepper. And here we have our panko. Let's mix this up and see what it's looking like. You want your herbs to like take front, they want to be in front and center. Most of the meals that you see me make are requests from the girls or Zachary. It's very rarely that I need to actually think of, you know, what we're gonna have for the week. It's very common for them to go, hey, can you make this sometime soon? So Angelina specifically requested the chicken parm. She has fond memories of this when she was younger. And of course I made it super thin and crispy. So I had to dig back in my memory and try to remember how it is that I make it, because I haven't made it in a while. Parmesan cheese. This is the, making a mess, this is the key. And yes, this is the pre-grated Parmesan blend from the store. If you have fresh, real stuff, you know, go for it. But this is expensive enough. And it's gonna taste good. It's all about balance. So we have a real good blend here, I would say. I think this is looking good. I might just add just a little bit more Italian seasoning in there. In my Italian seasoning blend, I mix this up. This is mainly thyme, oregano, crushed red pepper, rosemary, basil. I'm trying to think of all my ingredients as I'm looking in there. But it's really easy to do it yourself. It's much cheaper than buying from the store if you're making a big bulk amount of it. Looks good. Back in. Okay, and then we got to get our eggs whisked back in here. A little salt. Again, we put in here the garlic powder, the onion powder, pepper, a little bit of the onion salt blend. And then the key when we do this is to have one hand for wet and one hand for dry. And I always end up with two messy hands. So let's see how I do this time. I have the oil heating up slowly on the stove. We're using our big mama 17-inch Lodge cast iron for this. And we're doing a shallow pan fry, and then I have a sheet pan that we will set them on after they are fried, before we put them in the oven with the cheese and sauce on them. All right, there's that. Let me clean some of this up and then we'll get them breaded. Let's go. Ugh. All right, now that I've been sneaking my head off from all of the seasoning and pepper, we are going to get this breaded. I have our little station set up here. Now again, wet hand, dry hand. Think we can do it? We are going to go egg first, then the breadcrumbs, then on here. Now I have some wax paper sheets pulled, because if we were putting this directly into oil, that'd be fine, but I don't want them to start sticking together. So we're gonna layer, and then we're gonna fry. Here we go. You wanna make sure it's covered real good. Okay, so there's a wet hand, dry hand. See if I can multitask here, because we want to get this done. Now, if you do this and you really want it a good stick to the chicken kind of coat, you can set this in the fridge for a little while before freezing. Or, I'm sorry, before frying. But I want to get this done tonight, and the time is already going by so quickly. So see how beautiful that looks? Now let's see if I can stick to what I said. Wet hand, dry hand. You think I'll make it through, Zachary? You know, the wet hand, dry hand. I never do.
No.
Here we go. I did one. You have any tips for this, Mr. Cook?
No, I just used to let them cake up.
Oh, no, that's terrible. It smells good already, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like the mixture of pesto.
Yeah, Zachary likes a little chicken with his bread.
Yeah. So you like it nice and thin like that, though. Like it nice and thin, like you got it pounded out. It's gonna be good.
It's gonna be delicious. Alright, 2 down. Lots more to go.
Probably gonna need more egg wash.
I think we'll be fine. I don't want to have too much. Like, I feel like I might have made too many breadcrumbs, and I hate to waste it. But
Well, you're always gonna have extra breadcrumbs because you gotta have enough to get it under there.
I want it to be nice and seasoned. I said about how it's important to make sure that you season all parts. Season your eggs, season your breadcrumb.
Yeah, and most places only season like the breading and the breadcrumbs, just like they're like basic seasoned, like barely seasoned kind of. So it's always nice when you do it yourself to really get some seasonings in there.
And you can customize your seasoning to however you want it to be. You could do like like a lemon pepper, breaded chicken cutlet.
Cajun.
Ooh, Cajun, yeah. I could go for some Cajun
Slap your mama.
fish. Yeah. Lots of possibilities.
These look real good though.
Well, thank you, sir.
I'm excited, I can't wait.
Are you here to fry the chicken? He's quickly running out of the kitchen. Would you mind asking all of the little ones upstairs what kind of pasta they would like with the chicken parm? No, I wasn't asking you what pasta you're voting for. Zachary will always choose angel hair. Always. Was that a yes? You'll go ask them for me? It is weekend time, and around here that means lots of projects. So Zachary is prepping for us to start some more seeds tomorrow. We have about 200 pepper plants that we need to get ready, and that's a lot. So today we spent time planning out which tomato plants. I think I said pepper. Which tomato plants we are going to be doing, all of the varieties. We want to make sure that we have lots and lots of sauce tomatoes. So that's always our #1 priority, and then lots of variety for fresh eating. What did they request?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti. The classic spaghetti. Sir, would you like me to make you some angel hair anyway?
You don't have to make 2 meals.
Oh, I was doing so good. I was doing so good. Okay. You distracted me.
You can just wash your hand off quick. Only got 2 left.
It'll be okay. There's only 2 left. I could do a double breading on one of these for you if you want, since we have some.
Oh yeah. That's another thing that I used to do. I used to take it back and dump it back in the stuff.
Do you know, at some point, what they used to do, now these are like store-bought items, but to not waste, I saw this somewhere. Back in the day, they would take the leftover egg wash and breadcrumb and mix it up and then fry it like a patty as a way of, no waste.
Yeah.
I feel like you would like that. I'm not experimenting today, but anyone has any favorite breading recipes, I'm always looking to try something new. These do look really good though. And the breading here, the breadcrumb mixture smells so good. All right, so this one I'm gonna do a double bread on, right?
Is that big enough for me?
They're all big, Zachary. Like I could do that one and this one.
Okay.
You can always eat others too. There's a little piece. Double red.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here we go. It's going for a swim. Oh, Zachary, this is gonna be like overkill here.
Exactly what I want.
Angelina has her bestie over today, and every time she is over, they're always looking for something yummy. So here we have it. Usually they request some kind of soup to have. But we are soon gearing up for camping season and garden season, so I guess everyone's changing their preferences right now. That one couldn't handle all the breading. I'm starting to fall apart. Well, Zachary, if you weren't full from this double breaded, massive chicken here, I don't know. All right, that is it all. So let me clean this up. Let me wash my messy hands. I kept my dry hand though. And let's get it fried up. So, all right, we have our oil heat to the temperature that we want it to be. We have our tray to put them on, and then I have the oven set just to 200 to keep them warm because I don't want to continue cooking them. I want to keep them warm, and then we'll top with the sauce and I'll make the pasta. So first up is Zachary's massive one, since it is on the top. Let me get a phone. I need another counter here. There we go. Yeah, these are gonna fry quickly because they're thick. And here come the girls, they must be hungry. All right, we're gonna let that one fry. Just about ready to come out of the oil. Looking nice and crispy. Now the reason we want this to be on a tray that's lifted is obviously so the oil can drain. Nobody wants a soggy, oily cutlet. That is massive. I don't know how Zachary is gonna eat all of that. Alright, just one quick temp. That beep means we are good to go. So I'm gonna get the rest of these fried up. Delicious fried chicken cutlets ready to become chicken. Now that's a pan of chicken. It's a massive sheet pan that we have there, and it is full of delicious crispy chicken. So I'm gonna set that in the oven now to keep warm. We're gonna make our pasta and get dinner served. Oh, and garlic bread, can't forget the... All right, we may file this under Curiosity Cobra Cat, but I decided to do the experiment with the breadcrumbs and the leftover egg. So this may just turn into trash, which it would have been to begin with. So we're just gonna experiment here. And I'm gonna turn this off now because it is time to cool down as soon as this is done. Forgetting myself when I was recording. So I have no idea what these are actually going to be like. They may be terrible, but hey, if you never know. I'm going to give them like a minute yet. I have the pot filling for our pasta, and the heat is off. All right, so everyone is starting to crowd around because they are hungry. I have no idea, like I said, what this experiment's going to be like, so we'll have to do a taste test of this. Just putting them back in the pan. Got to get this oil out of the way so I can get the pasta. Ready? All right, guys, so my little experiment, I asked Zachary to taste it. And as you see, everyone's been nibbling on this one already, but give it a quick try for everyone.
I mean, I don't know what it tastes like, but it's just good. Like, it's just...
Like I said, a night after the bar.
Yeah. Like if you had those and some dipping sauce.
Some marinara.
Yeah, anything. You can dip those in anything. It just tastes good.
The closest thing that I could think of it comparing to was like a croquette. Like if you ever had like a chicken croquette. I mean, that's mainly breading. But it's definitely a good way that people didn't waste.
Yeah, I mean, I would totally eat those. Like, I don't know what it tastes like, but it tastes good.
All right, well, quick little experiment, I guess, turned out decent. I'm down here trying to make the garlic bread quick, so I'm gonna bring you back over to me. Thanks, Zachary. All right, guys, so this is the garlic bread that I've been working on. It is just an Italian loaf. We have someone noisy in the kitchen currently. It's just an Italian loaf sliced in half. I spread butter on it, specifically I used some Kerrygold. I have the roasted garlic, and then I am going to top it with some mozzarella and parmesan. Okay, so let's get the parmesan on here. Our pasta water is just about boiling, and I have the sauce heating up as well. I used For the pasta sauce, I'm using 1 quart of our marinara mixed with 1 quart of our roasted to kind of thin it out a little bit and give it the right consistency that I'm looking for tonight, because the marinara is a very thick, hearty sauce. So we have our mozzarella, and now we have our parm. So there's our parm. Don't you forget it. Don't forget your parmesan. That's what gives it the good taste.
Parmesan, throw a little bit more on there, eh?
Just a little bit of basil on here. So I'm gonna throw this in the oven. I'm gonna bump the heat up a little bit, grab our chicken out because we need to top the chicken with our sauce. And while we're doing that, this will melt and get nice and bubbly. Chicken pulled out of the oven for a few minutes here to top. We are using one of our beautiful marinara. I wish that you could really see how gorgeous and thick and hearty this is. I don't know if the camera captures that, but I always just love these labels. So marinara directly out of the jar, love that pop, and onto our chicken. We're not going to overdo it with the marinara topping because we don't want to make it soggy, but we want enough that you taste it, and you can always dip your chicken in some extra sauce. So you can see how nice and thick and hearty the sauce is. Chicken Parmesan is just one of those such like comforting and indulgent meals, and it's been a cold day today here, so this is well warranted. Full of rain, and we were out taking some measurements in the garden today to determine where we want to plant everything this year and some expansions that we're doing, and I couldn't run in the house fast enough as soon as we were done. I hate the cold. Hate the cold. I think a quart might have been just perfect for this. Alright, yeah, that was, I don't think I could have planned that better. Our sauce is heated up for the pasta. I always keep it separate because some like there's really saucy, some like barely any sauce. So everyone can do their own. But we are going to top this with our mozzarella. And then we're not going to bake this. We're just going to put it under the broiler to melt this cheese. Have to break out my sliced mozzarella. Looks like I do. So we're going to have some sliced mozzarella on here as well. This is definitely not a watch your waistline meal. There will be no diet speaking for this. Okay, soon enough we'll be having mainly salads for dinners with summer and all of the produce. It's nice to enjoy those seasonal kind of things. I'm actually just gonna some extra on here. I know Zachary likes lots of cheese. And we're gonna take this just over the top with a little parm. I am using Bel Gioioso, freshly shredded Parmesan. And a little sprinkle of basil. Alright, so into the broiler this goes, and it's about to be dinner served. I know I don't typically circle back around to share plates with you, but girls had some milkshakes delivered by Bestie's mom. So we have chicken parm, we got chicken parm pasta, some more, and we gotta look at Zachary's plate because we know that's gonna be looking good. And we have mine. Yum. So time to dig in. Hey friends, it's Sunday night, and Zachary and I have spent most of the day today working on starting lots and lots of seeds. I think we started like 5+ trays, a ton of things, tomatoes and lettuces and basil and all kinds of good things to make future meals. So now I need to get dinner done. And as I mentioned yesterday, which by the way, that chicken parm was so good. We all really enjoyed it. And like I said yesterday, today is going to be a quicker meal. It's actually a special request from Isabella. She wanted mac and dogs, which is normally just like a boxed mac and cheese with some hot dogs cut up in it. It's a throwback to younger years of, you know, simple, quick food. So I'm going to make that, but on the more homemade end with some elbow macaroni, some cheese ends, which is from our local deli, and can't replace the hot dogs. So we're going to have some chopped up hot dogs mixed in there, and it's going to be good. But it's going to be quick and pretty simple, so let's get it going. All right, our oil is hot here. We have some garlic oil in here, and I put some actually unsalted butter just because I don't want to make this too salty with the hot dogs in there and all of the flavors that we're building. So we have probably about 2 tablespoons of butter and a tablespoon of the garlic oil. 1 roughly diced onion. Didn't even break out the chopper. That's why my eyes are red, because the onion made me cry as usual. So that's going in. We're going to let that sweat. And I have some butter heating up here to fry the hot dogs in. So we are going to get the hot dogs chopped up. We're just using some basic ballpark beef hot dogs that I had in the freezer. And I'm going to cut these up. So I just took them out of the package, and we are just cutting them down like this. Now, this is not a health food. Don't come at me for that. This is a special request from an 11-year-old, so let's let her be a kid. All right, these are going in the pan. Onions are sweating away, and we're putting the hot dogs in for these to fry up. Looking good over here. And now we want to get your flour ready because we're going to make a roux. Okay, so you are going to see that this goes fast because we are starting to brown there. I don't want this to burn. I don't want it to stick. Got to stir the hot dogs too. Let's reduce the heat there. I need a whisk. We're doing this in crazy real time. This is when you can never find what you want. So we have our whisk, and we are going to have about 1/4 cup of flour here. We are making our roux. I'm going to reduce the heat on here a little bit too. You got to cook off the flour, so you want this to be a light brown. And actually, I need a little bit more flour. There we go. You want it to look like a paste. I will never forget the first time that I saw a roux being made. I was in high school and I was working as a server in a local restaurant, and they made such delicious soups there. But I remember seeing on the stovetop what looked like a big skillet full of applesauce. And I was like, why are we making a big skillet of applesauce? Well, it was in fact not applesauce. It was a large batch of roux that was made up for thickening soups that they were making that day. So think of the color of applesauce. That's kind of what we're trying to get to here. And then we're going to quickly thin it with some half and half is what I have on hand. So that's what I'm using. You could use milk, heavy cream, but half and half will work just fine for this. And then we're going to mix in our cheese. So I'm going to give it just 1 second. I'm going to grab our half and half. The main part of making a roux is that you have to keep whisking or you will burn it. And once the roux is burned, there's no coming back. You can't save it. You got to start again. All right, that looks just perfect. So we're going to, like I said, whisk in our half and half. Keep stirring, whisking, don't stop. I may need a little bit more. May have to throw in some milk. Thought I had more half and half in that container than I did. Sure you all have noticed how messy I am as a cook. Can clean it up afterwards, but we have splatters and little pops of stuff. It happens. Okay, that looks good. So now I'm going to start adding in our cheese. A local deli, they sell cheese ends in these little containers. And basically what that is just the random end cuts of deli cheese that they sliced. So in this case, well, you never know what you're going to get. I mean, obviously you can look at the container. But in this case, I could tell from looking at the container that in there was American, Cooper, mozzarella, and provolone. So that's a perfect mix for the flavor profile that I am going for here. So we're going to let this melt down. I am also going to put in a little bit of smoked cheese to give it a nice smoky flavor. And what I'm going to use for that is some Oaks smoked cheddar. I have this nice hunk that's been stored in the refrigerator. You may have seen Zachary and I had a tin fish date night, and we had a little bit of a charcuterie with it. This was some of the cheese that we had. So we've had this stored in the fridge, and cheese, especially like a hard cheese, lasts a pretty long time. So we're going to cut this up, and I'm going to throw that. So what I have always found takes a good mac and cheese to a great mac and cheese is mustard. And that might sound weird, but I like to use a combination of a good stone ground mustard. This is just from Giant, and some mustard powder. We are going to put in here about a tablespoon in total of that. This is melting down nicely. I'm going to reduce the heat even more. We do not want this to stick to the bottom. And then this is just ground mustard that I have, and that's probably about a teaspoon. We're going to get fresh ground black pepper and some fresh, not fresh ground, some adobo. Some adobo and some fresh cracked pepper. Let me grab that, and I'm going to turn this all the way to low. All right, so I put in our fresh cracked black pepper and some adobo, if I could hold on to the whisk. And I set our hot dogs just to the back. They're going to stay nice and warm in the cast iron. Don't even need to turn the burner on. The cheese has melted beautifully. This is a nice thick cheese sauce. And then I have some water coming to boil here for our pasta. Now, my hidden trick or tip that I would suggest for you is that I always put some chicken bouillon in my pasta water when I am making mac and cheese. It just gives a nice flavor to the pasta itself and accentuates the rest of the flavors in the dish. So I just need this to come to boil. We're going to boil our pasta, and then we're going to mix everything right in this pot here, and dinner will be done. And I think I've been in the kitchen for less than a half hour. We quickly are boiling. I really cannot speak today. And let's see how much pasta we end up using here. We have a half cup. So 1, 2, 3. Say that's 3.5 cups of elbow pasta. So you know I always keep ours stored in the basement in our glass jars. So we have that in. We're going to let that cook all the way through, and we will combine everything. All right, our pasta is basically done, and it's basically boiled out. Now I will tell you that my little head chef, Miss Lena, came out here and decided that we needed more pasta. So I ended up quickly adding some more pasta in there. So I would say we made like 8 cups of pasta probably. But one thing to know about Angelina is she hates really saucy things. So I removed some of the sauce from there that I can add back in if I feel that we need it to be richer. But we're going to start combining this. Now, if I wanted this to be a long prep meal, I would end up throwing this in the oven with some cheese on top and baking it for some time. But the whole idea of tonight was for it to be quick and simple. Let's get some more of our pasta in. We're looking good here. Well, this looks plenty cheesy, so I am going to bump the heat up to just under medium and put the lid on and let this come together for about 10 minutes, and then I'll take it off the stovetop to cool down a little bit before getting everyone served, and I'll bring you back to show you that final product. All right, so there it is. I let it go for honestly about 15 minutes, I'd say it was, and it looks delicious. So Isabella has asked to do a taste test, but she's not exactly feeling being on camera tonight. So we are going to respect that wish. But I'm going to give her a nice taste test. Look at how, make sure we're in camera there. Look at how yummy that looks. So, blow, blow, blow. No burning the taste buds off on the first bite.
No. Smells good. Okay, I think it's good.
Good?
Mm-hmm.
1 thumb up, 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. So that's it, guys. As always, thank you. I really can't talk today. Thank you all so much for joining me in our kitchen, spending time with me, taking time out of your day. It is always so appreciated. If you haven't already, please make sure to give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, and subscribe. Please keep us growing, help us get there. And we have lots more videos coming your way. So I'll see you next time. Have a great week, everyone.